Well, this is not the freezer bowl. 67 degrees, partly cloudy skies, moments away from the opening kick. Let's bring in the third member of our crew, Evan Washburn.
Fine, the last time Andy Dalton faced the Chargers, he turned the ball over 3 times and suffered one of his 4 playoff losses. And those postseason struggles have been the dominant storyline surrounding Dalton. So in year 5, the soft-spoken quarterback has changed his approach when it comes to leadership. Much more vocal, saying it's my responsibility to get the best out of this team. And as for that 2013 loss, it does still haunt him. He says that stuck with us and it's in the back of our minds today.
All right, Evan, both teams enter action at 1-0. The Bengals a 33-13 rout in Oakland. San Diego rallied for a 33-28 victory over Detroit. San Diego won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. Josh Lambo will kick it off to Adam Jones. Last year, Jones led the NFL in kick return average, 31.3 yards per return.
That's a phenomenal number, especially when you consider the lack of opportunities that kickoff returners have with the ball at the 35 for Lambo. And Lambo, with a strong leg, needs to put this one out of the back of the end zone.
Lambo, former soccer star, beat out Nick Novak for the kicking job. We're underway in Cincinnati. Yards deep. Jones looking for a lane. That stood up at the 23-yard line by Denzel Perriman on special teams. Now Cincinnati opens up with a 1st and 10 at its own 23. Andy Dalton last week in that victory in Oakland. Couple of touchdowns, no interceptions. He has been plagued by turnovers, though, the last couple of years. 42 giveaways since 2013, second to just Eli Manning over that span. So line of scrimmage will be the 24. And that's where Dalton will start things up with Eifert and Hewitt. 2 tight ends, Hill in the backfield. Play fake on a boot. Dalton throwing to the spot. Incomplete through the hands of Marvin Jones. Let's check out the starting offense for Cincinnati. They did not allow a sack last week. Andrew Whitworth, the talented left tackle, anchors this offensive line. Backs and receivers, A.J. Green. He's a star, 4 Pro Bowls, an elite playmaker for Dalton to work with, and their chemistry has been obvious from day one.
Bengals line up in kind of a crazy formation and then shift back to a more standard 2 tight end, 2 wide receivers, 1 tailback formation.
So 2nd and 10 for Cincinnati. Quick toss. Looking for Green to create. And a stiff arm on Flowers, and he's out of bounds. Angles out for 6 yards. Defensively for San Diego, Corey Liuget leads this group. John Pagano believes he may have the best defense that he's had since he took over the job, now in his 4th year. Melvin Ingram, talented pass rusher, just staying healthy has been the issue for Ingram. And in the secondary, San Diego product Jimmy Wilson getting his first start as a Charger, stepping in for the injured Jaleel Adai, sitting this one out with an ankle injury. On a 4-receiver set, little floater is caught by Bernard. Spin move comes up short of a first down. 2-yard pickup. Wilson ranging over there defensively for San Diego. 3 and out for Cincinnati.
Yeah, according to John Pagano, the key today for San Diego, we always saw an unusual formation for the Bengals, but he wants his team to stay engaged and see the Bengals come out of the huddle, whatever personnel they might have and wherever they may line up, be ready.
Kevin Huber, the local Cincinnati product, punting to Keenan Allen, stepping in for the injured Jacoby Jones. And Allen muffs it! Scooped up inside the 15. Lumber on special teams. San Diego gives it away early.
Yeah, there really was no pressure around Allen as the ball comes down. Look at his eyes go off it. He's looking for the return to his right side there. Ball slimps away. He caught 15 tough passes last week. That was an easy catch that he muffs right there. Tremendous break for the Bengals to start this ball game. Chargers lucky that this ball picked up by Lamur was not returned for a score.
Jacoby Jones just went over to offer some encouragement to Keenan Allen. Jones out with an ankle injury. A Pro Bowl level return man. And Cincinnati in business in the red zone. Last week, 6 possessions in the red zone, 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals. against Oakland.
Yesterday, Dalton told us that running his offense today efficiently is the key. Time of possession is important against Rivers and the Chargers. He knows that when you play San Diego, you can never have enough points. You can never take for granted they won't come from behind.
Two receiver set. Jones, the motion man. Dalton. And a quick hitter to Jones. No room to run. San Diego converging with Flowers and Ingram, and they limit Jones to a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, it's a couple of short passes. One to A.J. Green on a no-step, really, just a turn and throw, and this one to Marvin Jones. But it gives you the idea that they may be setting up a double move, especially down here in the red zone, where they're taller as wide receivers than the Charger defensive backs.
Well, this offense can be dynamic. They were ranked just 15th in the NFL last season. They're better than that. 2nd and 7. Dalton, protection is there. Dalton to the end zone. A.J. Green going upstairs for the touchdown. Cincinnati strikes first in the jungle.
Well, Dalton throws it perfectly to the 6'4" A.J. Green. Flowers goes at 5'9", no contest, but the footwork at the back of the end zone is perfect by A.J. Green. The snatch there, and then the toe tap for the score.
Can't do it any better.
Nope, the throw, the catch, everything. Goes right back to the turnover, the muff punt by Keenan Allen, and the Bengals capitalize as quickly as they possibly can.
Mike Nugent on for the extra point. Last week had an extra point blocked in that game against Oakland. Nugent splits the uprights. It's a 7-0 lead for Cincinnati. A.J. Green, a star for this Bengals squad. He and Dalton on the connection. Well, 2 plays, 19 yards after the muff by Allen. Cincinnati takes advantage with a 16-yard touchdown strike from Dalton to Green. You just hope that the special teams mistake doesn't affect the every down play of Keenan Allen, who's normally not the punt return. Kobe Jones out with the ankle injury. Brandon Oliver stepping in for Jones on kick returns. And Oliver will stick the helmet down and cross the 20-yard line. That's where San Diego will open up. Check out the Fouts focus on the touchdown.
Well, what we have here is single coverage here. Here's A.J. Green, and here's the defensive back, Brandon Flowers, and it's just going to be a real simple route right down the pipe here. Indefensible, though. The ball thrown really high for A.J. Green, who's got long arms, strong hands, and a 6'4" frame.
Phillip Rivers last week completed his final 20 passes against the Lions, a new team record. The NFL record is 24 straight, set by Donovan McNabb back in 2004 over the course of 2 games. First play from scrimmage for San Diego. And it's Gordon, the rookie. Melvin Gordon taking it to the second level. Gordon, strong run to open things up for San Diego. The number 15 pick, they traded up to get him out of Wisconsin. 26-yard rip.
Well, it starts over here, and then he comes back here, but this is the missed tackle. Gordon showing some strength here, getting away from Vinny Ray out to midfield for the Chargers. 26 yards.
So first down out across the 45 for Rivers and company. We approach 12 minutes to go in the first. Cincinnati with a 7-0 lead. Rivers drop off for Gordon. Gordon has some room. Well, stiff arm, and Gordon zigzags across the 45 of Cincinnati. So it's Gordon on back-to-back plays. Offensively for San Diego, DJ Fluker is out. Left ankle injury. So Chris Hairston came over from Buffalo, makes his first ever start at guard. He had started at tackle. But Darius Green in for Antonio Gates, suspended the first 4 games for use of performance-enhancing drugs, and Green stepped forward last week, 5 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. 21 straight completions for Rivers now. They feed it to Gordon, running in between the tackles, and not much there, about a yard. Atkins and Pecco collaborate.
Well, Rivers wants to set the tempo and maintain it all game by staying at the line of scrimmage and playing fast. Although he knows the Bengals will try to take away those short, quick passes that were so good last week against Detroit, by not huddling, he feels that will limit the substitutions and make the Bengals defense more basic, predictable, and vanilla.
Mike McCoy, now in his third year as a head coach of the Chargers. This is a 3-receiver set and a nickel package from Cincinnati. Leon Hall is in as the extra defender. 2nd and 10. And a delay for Gordon. Slips through and takes it to the 36-yard line. Ray Malaluga is there. It's a 7-yard pickup for Gordon. Now Danny Woodhead will check in on 3rd down.
Woodhead, such a matchup nightmare. Says he relies on his speed and agility. He makes up for a lack of size, but he feels his size and his advantage. People can't see him all the time.
Marvin Lewis, second longest tenured coach in the NFL behind Bill Belichick, now in his 13th year. 3rd and 3. They spread it with 5. They had a league-high 483 yards of offense last week. Connection made with Stevie Johnson. Penalty marker on the play. Johnson's got a first down. The flag thrown at the 30.
And Michael Johnson jumped offside, so they're going to decline this penalty, take the play. Rivers did this so well last week against the Lions.
Offside defense, right defensive end. That penalty is declined. First down, Cincinnati.
You know, drawing the defense offsides, but not just on any down, on 3rd down and short, where if you get this type of action, you know you're going to have an automatic first down. So take the hit in the pocket, get the ball to your receiver, and it's another first down for San Diego.
And it's 22 straight completions now for Phillip Rivers. He is behind Peyton Manning for 2nd, 2 behind McNabb for the record. Gordon to the outside. Melvin Gordon. A hurdle by Gordon and forced out of bounds. He picks up 5. Gordon had 2,587 yards last season for Wisconsin, the Doak Walker Award winner, All-American.
And got a little track history in his background as he hurdles a Bengal there. But this is what San Diego did in that playoff game. They ran the ball very well against the Bengals, and they're off to a great start. 3 carries, 33 yards for Gordon.
2nd and 5. Sticking with Gordon. Gordon hit from the side, couldn't take it to the 20. Give him a gain of 1. Vincent Ray will get credit for the stop. Ray is in for the injured Vontez Burfict, who's on the PUP list after Burfict had microfracture knee surgery.
Ray had the team leading 14 tackles last week against the Raiders. He missed a tackle on Gordon earlier in this drive. He did not miss that one.
Working out of the gun on a 3rd and 5 now for San Diego. They trail 7-0. Danny Woodhead trying to get instructions. 8th play of the drive for the Chargers. Rivers steps up. Rivers throws off the hands of Stevie Johnson. And it's 4th down, and the streak is over for Phillip Rivers at 22 straight completions.
Well, the pressure came from the right side, and that's what causes this ball to be behind Stevie Johnson. Johnson will tell you that, you know, he gave it his all, but he could not quite get both hands on it.
Johnson had 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown in his San Diego debut last week. Lambeau missed an extra point last week in his NFL debut. This is from 40 yards away, and Lambeau knocks it through to get the Chargers on the board. 7-3, Cincinnati in front. First quarter action continues. Oktoberfest in downtown Cincinnati, largest Oktoberfest in the United States. More than 500,000 people attending each year, and it happened right outside your hotel room, Dan. It was perfect.
I'm a little confused. Oktoberfest, and it's September 20th.
Why are you such a stickler with the calendar?
Cincinnati's always forward thinking.
Lambeau kicks it off. Adam Jones unreturnable. So Cincinnati will have it at the 20. Your weekend starts with Kirk Cousins and the Redskins squaring off with Eli Manning and the Giants. It's all here Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Cincinnati has the football, 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. They've got a 7-3 lead on San Diego. 33 points last week, the most points they've ever scored under Marvin Lewis in a season opener. Had 265 yards of offense in the first half. Jeremy Hill running. What an impressive rookie season he had out of LSU. 5-yard pick of a flag on the play.
Yeah, they're going to get Ryan Hewitt for holding on the rookie Kyle Emanuel.
Holding, number 89, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second correction, 1st down.
The veteran Jeff Triplett, our referee here today.
Well, whenever the action is right at you can see the right hand of Hewitt just grabbing and then pulling Emanuel down to the ground right out in the open there. The officials are going to see that every time.
So back it up to the 11-yard line on a 1st down now for Cincinnati. Hill remains in the backfield. He's got Hewitt there with him. Hewitt in that H-back role. Jeremy Hill, 1,124 yards rushing last season. And up the middle, helmet comes off of Russell Bodine, one of the blockers along with Clint Bowling up front.
Now, after starting the game with 5 straight passes and no runs, Bengals come out back-to-back runs this time, and quickly Jeremy Hill gets back to 10 yards. They lost on the holding penalty.
Now it's Giovanni Bernard. They can mix and match. Bernard brings different skills, shifty, smaller at 5'9", 205. Dalton, he leads Bernard, and now Bernard does the rest. Bang down across the 25. 9-yard catch and run. NFL Today update. JB and Coach Cowher.
Ian, good run there, good run in Washington.
Yeah, watch this rookie, Matt Jones, takes the handoff, goes 39 yards, giving the Redskins a 7-0 lead over the St. Louis Rams.
Ian, Dan, and Evan.
Yeah, Washington feels really good about their running attack with the rookie Jones and, of course, Alfred Morris, multiple Pro Bowls. They feel like they've got a 1-2 punch that can control the pace.
Yeah, and also help out Kirk Cousins, their new quarterback.
3rd and 1. Bernard, 1st down. Leans across the 35. Andre Smith, all 6'4", 325 pounds of him, leading the way. 8-yard pickup.
Really smart run after contact. He knows he has the 1st down as he gets out in front here. Watch him cover the ball here as Donald Butler and Eric Weddle come to make the tackle. You know, Weddle and Bernard, they played against each other a few times. They're going to be talking all day long. Bengals with an extra offensive lineman, Jeff Fisher now at left tight end.
6:24 to go in this 1st quarter. Back to Hill. Hill emerges. There was a lot of traffic, and Hill cuts through it for a gain of 5. Kyle Emanuel, that rookie out of North Dakota State, in on the stop.
Emanuel, who battled a shoulder injury throughout most of this week, had a great debut last week with a pick and a sack.
5th round pick.
Watch levels.
Buck Buchanan Award winner is the top defensive player in FCS. Hill keeps the legs turning. He's got a 1st down. Excellent vision there to pick up 7. San Diego claims they've got the football. Butler does have it. He has no helmet.
And it's San Diego ball. Butler ripped the ball away from Hill.
They are motioning. San Diego's got the football. We've got an injury at the 49-yard line.
Well, you can see it's Hill that's down, and you can see why. He got his legs bent back, and as he's going to the ground, there you see Butler rip the ball out.
So Hill was falling down. His body was bent in the process.
You wonder if that left knee might have been on the ground before the ball was taken away.
Donald Butler, one of the vocal leaders of this San Diego D, now in his 6th year in the league.
That is really close.
All turnovers are reviewed, so Right now the concern for Cincinnati is checking out
We are
the
reviewing the previous play.
lower leg and knee of Jeremy Hill. So they're going to take a look. Question was Jeremy Hill's left knee down before the ball came out. Checking out the replay here of Hill. On the live look at that knee right there. On the live look, it felt like forward progress, but the whistle didn't blow. The play continued. Butler knocked it free. Was that knee down? Jeff Triplett has the official review.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Jeremy Hill can't believe it. Mike McCoy and the Chargers get a turnover. The gang tackle on Hill knocked the ball free, and Donald Butler heads up play all the way through for San Diego.
May not have been enough visual evidence to overturn this play. Heads up play by Donald Butler, and great gang tackling by the Chargers.
So a first down in Cincinnati territory at the 48. It's a pitch for Gordon. Gordon works his way out of trouble and squeezes out a yard and a half on the play. Malaluga with a stop. Let's send it downstairs to Evan.
Well, guys, Jeremy Hill came to the sideline under his own power. Doctors worked on that left leg, testing the stability of the knee. He then did some sprinting and cutting. He has his helmet and appears to be available. They didn't even add a brace or any tape, so he's good to go.
Yeah, I don't think Hill's upset at all about the injuries. He's upset about the call.
Yeah, he definitely felt his knee was down.
On a 2nd and 9 now for Rivers working out of the gun. Woodhead is in. We approach 5 minutes to play in this first quarter. 7-3 lead for Cincinnati. Woodhead. Danny Woodhead makes his move to the 47-yard gain for Woodhead. 12 carries, 42 yards, a couple of touchdowns last week, coming back from the broken fibula last season.
Well, watch Woodhead as he reads the blocking here perfectly and makes Maaluga miss by just outrunning him to the corner.
So now a 3rd and 2. Woodhead remains in there. Rivers sends Floyd in motion. Stepping up, Rivers under pressure, loses the ball. Wallace Gilberry there defensively put the heat on Rivers. And the recovery, Chris Carter for Cincinnati.
Now Rivers is going to claim that this was a forward pass, but you can see the hit there and the ball coming out. So this turnover fest in Oktoberfest in Cincinnati.
Turnovers piling up here in the first quarter. 4:13 to play. 7-3 Cincinnati on top of San Diego.
30th sack of Gilberry's career as he beat the offensive guard Orlando Franklin. Ball was clearly out before Rivers tried to throw it.
So Cincinnati takes over at the 42, and it's Giovanni Bernard working with Dalton in the pistol. Dalton fires underneath. Bernard makes a cut. Tackle down to the 47-yard line, 4.5-yard pickup.
Here's Gilberry. And he's going to just get underneath the pads here and discard Orlando Franklin. And he hits Rivers just as Rivers bringing the ball back to throw it. Clearly out before the throwing motion. Great play by Wallace Gilberry.
50.
4 straight playoff appearances for the Cincinnati Bengals. 5 of the last 6 years, but no wins in the postseason. It's Dalton. Well-executed fake. San Diego bit. They thought Bernard had it. Dalton loses his helmet. And a 4-yard gain for Dalton on the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, Dalton goes back to his horned frog days at TCU to run the zone read option here. Tries to get down in a hurry, gets a knee to the back of the head, the helmet comes off, but because he's a runner at this point and going forward, diving forward, he is not protected.
So a jumbo formation here for Cincinnati. Jake Fisher is in, extra lineman, and Domata Pecco at fullback. Andy Dalton will use a timeout. Play clock was down to 1. 2:50 to play in the opening quarter. 7-3. Bengals. Dan, let me apologize before we even start the video. Ooh, the Freezer Bowl. Wind chills fell below 59, minus 59. 4 turnovers for the Chargers. Ken Anderson, 2 touchdowns. The Bengals, a 27-7 win in the 1981 AFC Championship.
Yeah, why couldn't we have played on a day like today? But Kenny Anderson was awesome that day, and this old quarterback over here wasn't.
So you say the river didn't look like that day when you pulled up?
No, I don't even recognize the stadium. We were in that thing called Riverfront Stadium.
That was different as well. One of the greatest wins in Cincinnati Bengals history. Jeremy Hill is now in for Cincinnati. Hill, the dive. And looks like it's very close. Had to get across the 48-yard line of San Diego. Cincinnati indicating it's enough.
Now Cincinnati just happy to see Jeremy Hill back in the lineup.
Chain crew will come out to measure.
It'll be interesting if they are short. Do you go for it here? I mean, I definitely would go for it. They've got the momentum, but I believe this is a first down. Yep.
It's enough. Got it by half the length of the football.
Well, he goes low. Watch him dip his shoulders here as contact comes, diving over his offensive lineman, knowing what he needed for the first down and picking it up by half a football.
Last week, Hill, 19 carries, 63 yards, 2 touchdowns. But when he was asked about it, he said, my performance was pedestrian at best. Marvin Lewis talked about the fact they left a lot of yards on the ground last week, even in that blowout win. Creative. Marvin Jones going back the other way and looking for the edge. Jones hop steps out of the way for a 5-yard pickup. He did a lot of running with a penalty marker thrown at the 49.
Yeah, we got blocking in the back by Giovanni Bernard right in front of the Charger bench. The Charger bench went ballistic. And finally, the back judge threw his flag from about 30 yards away.
Illegal block in the back. Number 25, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So all that work for Jones, it's coming back.
That was a reverse, wasn't it?
That was
and
2 reverses.
Well, actually 3, because they're reversing their field position right now with the penalty. Sorry to one-up you there, pal.
No, that's all right. Yeah. If anyone's going to one-up me, I want it to be you. Line of scrimmage is the 45 here for Cincinnati.
Dalton missed his first pass of the afternoon, but he's hit on his last 6.
It's a strange first quarter with the turnovers. Both teams trying to find a flow. Cincinnati took over deep in San Diego territory after the Allen muff. And that's when they put their touchdown on the board, Dalton to Green. San Diego had a quality drive, but had to settle for a Lambeau field goal.
Put the play clock back to 10 seconds. 10 seconds on the play clock.
Mike McCoy's team 8-8 on the road the last 2 seasons, going west to east. That's always a focal point for teams in the NFL. How do you handle it? Do you come in the extra day, try to get your guys acclimated? Chargers are 8-6 in 1 p.m. Eastern games going back to 2012.
Yeah, they came in on Friday. But my theory on that, a team with the better players usually wins regardless of where you're playing.
Yeah. What about extra Marriott points?
You got enough, don't you?
1st and 17. Dalton. On time to A.J. Green. Strong throw by Dalton. 23 yards and a first down.
Yeah, he talked about improving his mechanics and improving his arm strength. Both of them are on display here. Watch Dalton after he gets the snap. He's going to look off the safety, keep Weddle in the middle of the field, and fire a bullet to A.J. Green. That's over the top and on target.
Andy Dalton has hit 7 in a row. Cincinnati is on the move. It's Bernard. Takes the crease. Spin move to the 20-yard line. Giovanni Bernard for 12. Good block from Marvin Jones. We are under a minute to play in the first.
Well, Bernard averaged 7.9 yards a carry last week against the Raiders. He's off to another good start here. 2 carries for 21. That 12-yarder puts the Bengals at the 20-yard line.
Andy Dalton has been excellent in the red zone, not making mistakes. On the give, Bernard. And he keeps those legs turning. Could have been a loss. He turns it into a 2.5-yard gain. Dalton 0 picks in the red zone since week 17 of the 2013 season. Ingram and Atachu combined to bring him down.
Yeah, crazy first quarter. 3 turnovers and Allen Muff on a punt. Jeremy Hill fumbles, and then immediately after that, Rivers is hit and he fumbles.
End of the first quarter in Cincinnati. The Bengals with a 7-3 lead on the San Diego Chargers. We'll come back to Paul Brown Stadium after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. There's been a carryover from week 1 to week 2 for Cincinnati. Offensively, controlling the clock in that first quarter, chance to put more points on the board here in the second.
Well, they're 2 of 3 on third down conversions, and you add the 2 turnovers by San Diego, and that's why Bengals have such a huge edge.
6 offensive linemen. We start the second quarter here in Cincinnati. Iron Eagle Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, the rest of our NFL on CBS crew. Producer Mark Wolf, director Bob Fishman. On a 2nd and 8. Dalton timing route. The timing is off. Looking for Eifert, one of the big stars around the NFL in week 1. Eifert went for 9 catches, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Oakland.
Yeah, nice move there, but Jimmy Wilson does a nice job of not biting totally on that move. And Dalton really never gave Eifert a chance at 6'6" against the 5'11" Wilson.
Dime package right now for San Diego. It's Robinson and Phillips trying to deal with the 6'6", 250-pound Eifert. Third year out of Notre Dame. Eifert the motion man on a 3rd and 8. Dalton has time. Dalton in trouble. And he will toss it away. Andy Dalton didn't want to absorb the sack there with Reyes and Ingram, and chance a field goal attempt for Nugent.
Well, that dime defense for John Pagano worked perfectly for San Diego. You can see that Dalton was looking to the right side of the field for Mohamed Sanu, and then Eric Wells did a good job on Eifert. Smart play by Dalton to get rid of the ball and not to give up yardage or give up the ball with a potential interception.
Mike Nugent, Pro Bowler last season. 36-yard attempt for Nugent. And Nugent pushes it off to the right. No good. No points for Marvin Lewis and company. We remain at 7-3. The Bengals over the Chargers. San Diego with the football when we come back. Only one more day until the biggest premiere in the universe. You won't want to miss the first new episode of the season, The Big Bang Theory, on its new night tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, right here on CBS. Missed field goal from Nugent. First time this season Cincinnati's been in the red zone and has no points to show for it. They maintain the 7-3 lead early stages of the second quarter.
It looked like he just hit the turf before he hit the ball, and the ball just faded 2 to 3 feet away from the upright. But huge miss for Cincinnati.
San Diego dominated the time of possession last week against Detroit. It's been the opposite so far today against Cincinnati. Play fake. Rivers sets it up across his body, and he hits Green. Ladarius Green stepping in for Antonio Gates. It's an 11-yard pickup. Phillip Rivers, 254 career touchdowns. He is tied with Dan Fouts for for the most in Chargers history.
Okay, I got it.
That's too many mentions?
Oh, he's going to get 354 before he's done.
Ladarius Green getting the opportunity, 4th year out of Louisiana Lafayette. Here's Gordon. Melvin Gordon is stacked up. Might have seen Gordon on extra points on the NFL Today. Inside look at the rookie's first year in the NFL and the excitement that comes with that. Pecco there defensively for Cincinnati, a loss of 1 on the play. Gordon, great size, 6'1", 215.
It's off to a good start, 7 carries, 38 yards, including a 26-yarder early.
Keenan Allen has been shut out so far. Remember, Allen had 15 catches, 166 yards last week. The most catches in a season opener since 1960. Play clock's down to 1. Rivers out of the gun to Gordon. Gordon, the shake and bake move to the outside, and here's the speed. Gordon slowed down. And a touchdown potentially saved by Kirkpatrick. 27-yard gain for Gordon.
Yeah, tremendous quickness by Gordon as he's going to get to the outside, and then check out the blocking on the perimeter by Keenan Allen as he contributes right there. Also, Stevie Johnson there, or rather that was Malcolm Floyd with a key block. And a touchdown-saving tackle by Dre Kirkpatrick.
Gordon in his NFL debut, 14 carries, 51 yards. Did have a fumble, 3 catches for 16 yards. Now it's Oliver getting an opportunity. Brandon Oliver led this team in rushing last season. The injuries to Woodhead, Matthews was never quite right consistently. 2-yard gain. George Iloka there defensively.
Oliver with just 582 yards rushing, but he stepped in when the Chargers needed him, and that's why he led the team.
Undrafted free agent last year out of Buffalo. Comparisons to Darren Sproles, basically because of the body type and the skill set.
And the number.
2nd and 8. Rivers on time. Ladarius Green caught down low by Adam Jones.
Yeah, if you didn't know better, you thought that might have been Antonio Gates with that pivot move by Ladarius Green. The offense does not change when Green is in the lineup. 2 catches on this drive, showing his speed on the first one and then his agility on that one.
Rivers said Green is different than Antonio. Ladarius Green can fly. They're not literally. Spin move, flag down, helmet off. Melvin Gordon devoured by Michael Johnson.
Now you think this might be holding against the Chargers.
Jeff Triplett will deliver the news.
They're going to decline it, though, because they're going to take this big loss instead.
Holding, number 75 in the offense. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
And that's Chris Hairston, who is in for the injured DJ Fluker. And they had so many issues on the offensive line last year, most notably at the center spot. 5 different centers started for San Diego last season.
Pretty good grab there on Geno Atkins. 10-yard penalty, but that was an 8-yard loss, so they also lose the down or refuse the penalty.
Sets up 2nd and 18 for San Diego. Line of scrimmage just shy of the 30-yard line. 11:28 to play, first half. Rivers comfortable in the pocket, slings it over the middle, and he's got his man. It's Green once again. Ladarius Green, tall target at 6'6", a converted wide receiver.
And you see the eyes of Rivers looking straight down the field to hold the safety away from Green. Comes back to Green. He knows he's got Green on the middle linebacker. That's a mismatch in Chargers' favor.
The questions with Green have been twofold. Opportunities playing behind Antonio Gates, future Hall of Famer, and plagued by inconsistency through the first 3 years of his career. But he is coming through right now for San Diego. This is a 3rd and 7. Rivers making sure everybody's on the same page in a 5-receiver set. Rush coming, Rivers gets rid of it. Throws to Malcolm Floyd, and he is short of a first down. Penalty marker at the 24.
Illegal procedure.
False start. Number 75, the offense. The 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, Chris Hairston having his problems. That offensive line giving up a sack fumble. And now Hairston with a false start. And Hairston, who's filling in at right guard for DJ Fluker. Chargers' original plans for Hairston was to have him be a swing tackle, playing both left and right.
It's his 16th NFL start, but 10 have come at left tackle, right tackle 5 for Hairston, all with Buffalo. 3rd and 12. Out of the gun, Rivers unloads to Woodhead. The curl by Woodhead, spun down at the 15. 11-yard pickup for Woodhead.
How do you stop this guy? Watch him on the left side of the screen. A little fake there, a little fake to the outside, and then after the catch, the pivot inside to get away from Vinny Ray. The Chargers just short of the first down.
And they're going for it. On 4th and 1. Plenty of time on the play clock. Rivers gets them organized.
Trying to draw him off sides is what he's trying to do. Tough to do on the road. Crowd is so loud, and the Bengals already were victimized by a hard count by Rivers in the first quarter.
So 4th down, field goal unit will come on. Let's check in with Evan Washburn downstairs.
Well, Dan, I can add to that. The noise down here is deafening. This is an experienced crowd in knowing time and situation. And this is where Mike McCoy felt like they had an advantage with Phillip Rivers. His experience in these situations, his ability to get in the ear of not just his offensive lineman, but Woodhead on that last play was clear. He wanted that hard count, but clearly they'll go for this field goal. But don't underestimate the noise right now from this Bengals crowd.
And Evan, Cincinnati 16-3-1 in its last 20 home games. They were undefeated in 2013, but lost to San Diego in the wild card game. 5-2-1 last season here at Paul Brown Stadium. Lambeau made a 40-yarder. This is a 32-yard attempt trying to cut into the Cincinnati lead. Cyphers, the punter, will hold it. Mike Wint, the Cincinnati product, snaps it. And the field goal is good for Lambeau from 32 yards away. 7-6, Cincinnati in the second. Cincinnati 7, San Diego 6. 9:24 mark of the second quarter. Josh Lambeau will kick it off for San Diego. Lambeau 4 touchbacks last week in that come-from-behind victory against Detroit. Adam Jones waiting for it. This one is short. Jones will take it 1 yard deep in the end zone, and he just stumbles down out across the 15-yard line. Perriman down there on special teams. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cower. They've got the latest NFL scores and highlights. A preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. That's all coming up. Verizon Halftime Report. Save some of your good stuff for the Verizon Halftime Report. There's a lot of chatter going on between them, getting ready for the hit.
It's not an easy job those guys have to listen to each other all day long. It's true. Yeah. It's not the chatter, it's the listening. My goodness.
First down for Cincinnati at the 16-yard line. Jeremy Hill is in the backfield for the Bengals. Dalton pulls the trigger, and he's got Eifert. Eifert thrown down along the sideline, and Cincinnati picks up the first down, 13 yards. Evan Washburn standing by with a special guest here in Cincinnati.
I'm here with Kenny Anderson, and Kenny, we showed that video of that freezer bowl, and over 30 years ago, how often do you think back to that game?
Whenever it's below 50 degrees, and I know Dan's the same way, that we tend to bundle up as the weather gets cooler.
Would you have rather played it like it is right now or how it was on that day?
Well, you know, at that day, I thought we had a pretty good advantage playing at home, even though it was brutal conditions. So, you know, I would prefer to play when it's cold.
I'm still getting to know Dan, but who can handle the elements better, you or Dan?
Well, I tell you what, Dan is one of the best I've ever seen, you know, and it was I think he'd agree, it was more the wind that day. And, you know, looking at this new stadium, I don't see any tunnels at the end that may open and close depending on who's got the ball.
Well, I appreciate it, Kenny. Enjoy the day.
Well, thank you very much. I'm just disappointed Dan didn't join me for the chicken dance down on Fountain Square yesterday afternoon.
We had one in our production meeting. Don't worry. All right?
I'm working on it, Kenny.
Yeah, Dan had some other business to attend to, Ken.
Not really.
No, that was just a flat out no. I'm not interested. Give to Hill. And Hill working to the 40. What is Ken talking about? The chicken dance at Oktoberfest. Oh, this is it. We happen to have video. And then you said no to this invite, didn't you?
Well, this just proves you can't make chicken dance
out of what?
Out of chicken fingers? I don't know.
Yeah, that works. Let's go with that. Yeah. Ken Anderson, classic guy.
And a great quarterback. Yeah, he was my idol.
He was your idol. Do you still feel it seriously in your right hand?
Yeah, we both do it. Both hands and both feet. We've talked about it a number of times.
Dalton sets up the deep ball down the sideline, and it's out of bounds.
And be holding against the Chargers. They're actually against the Bengals. Chasing Dalton out of the pocket. Jeff Triplett through the flag.
Holding. Number 77 to the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So that's 3 penalties now against Cincinnati. They're holding on to the 7-6 lead against the Chargers.
Well, it's Melvin Ingram right here. And here's Whitworth right here. And watch Ingram with great explosion, the speed off the corner, then the move to the inside. And there's the grab, and here comes the flag.
Ingram has lost 20 pounds. He worked with LeBron James' trainer during the offseason. He's in the best shape of his life.
A big hit last week against Stafford.
Little pitch ahead. Rex Burkhead. So we've seen some creativity from Cincinnati. 8-yard gain. NFL Today update. JB and Coach Coward.
So, Coach, you like wide receivers because of what?
Called speed, JB. Right here, Ben Roethlisberger hits Antonio Brown, who takes his 59-yard, sets up a 2-yard D'Angelo Williams touchdown. The Steelers have gone for 2 on both their touchdowns in the first quarter as they lead 16-3.
Hey, Ian, Dan Fouts would have made that chicken dance look good, I'm sure.
Yeah. I know. He's just shy.
It would have been chicken salad. That's what I was searching for.
Second and 12. Toss out to the flat. It's Hill. And Hill is down at the 40 for a 2-yard pickup. Patrick Robinson over there defensively for San Diego. Eric Weddle trying to make the play on defense on that pass from Dalton. Penalty flag is at the 49.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 22, defense. 15 yards added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Face mask penalty against San Diego. Jason Verrett.
Yeah, he just pulls on that face mask, trying to bring A.J. Green to the ground. Way away from the play. That was such a good tackle by Patrick Robinson on Hill. Negated by that foolish penalty.
So place the football at the 45 now of San Diego and a new set of downs for Cincinnati to work with. We approach 6 minutes to go in the first half. Giovanni Bernard in the backfield alongside Dalton. Deep drop. Dalton. Deep ball. Separation. Marvin Jones. Touchdown. Bengals. A 45-yard hookup.
Now it's good protection for Dalton, and you can see the safety Weddle get out of the middle of the field. That opens it up for the speed of Marvin Jones. 12 catches for touchdowns now in his career. Fourth-year player out of California. A perfect throw by Andy Dalton. Second touchdown of the first half. And that one is one for the ages. Read the coverage, saw the safety vacate the middle of the field, and then delivered.
Dan, Marvin Jones missed last season with a foot injury, and they missed him. That explosive ability to complement A.J. Green. Extra point from Nugent.
Well, they talk about his energy and his enthusiasm each day, but it's his speed that separates him from the defensive back, Brandon Flowers, for the score.
Six plays, 84 yards. Dalton to Jones, 45 yards. Dalton now 11 of 14, 132 yards, and a couple of touchdowns to lead Cincinnati. Having a chat with Hugh Jackson now in his second year as the offensive coordinator for the Bengals. Andy Dalton has looked sharp. Cincinnati in front, 14-6. Nugent kicks it off. Brandon Oliver is deep. Momentum carries him to the back of the end zone. San Diego will have it at the 20-yard line. Andy Dalton put it exactly where it had to be, leading Jones downfield. And Cincinnati's offense has been on display. San Diego trailed 21-3 last week against Detroit. First half turnovers last week, 2 of them, 2 today for the Chargers. They're down 14-6 here in Cincinnati. Pressing the line, and the flag comes down. Rivers indicating that the jump was made by Malaluga. But now the officials huddling up with Jeff Triplett.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, nose tackle. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now.
Keenan Allen hasn't had a ball thrown in his direction all first half.
Look at the Gordon. Second effort, Gordon tries to get up and curl, and he's held to no gain on the play. Allen now in his 3rd year. Last season, numbers were off compared to his rookie year. We asked Mike McCoy and Rivers about Allen, and they just raved about his hard effort during the offseason, getting himself in the best shape of his life. He's taken on more of a leadership role this season without Eddie Royal on this team. Protection is there. And on cue, Rivers hits Allen for a modest gain. Trey Kirkpatrick brings him down.
And he was targeted 17 times last week. This is the first time today as number 17 finds him on the short crossing route that was so good for both Rivers and Allen against the Lions last week.
He matched Kellen Winslow for the most catches in a game in franchise history last week. Rivers is 7 of 8 for 67 yards.
Trey Kirkpatrick has to come off the field because his helmet is broken. So Darquez Denard in for him.
He's the second-year corner out of Michigan State, replacing Kirkpatrick. 3rd and 2.
Load it.
Woodhead lines up off to the side of Rivers. Underneath, Rivers on target. He hooks up with Ladarius Green for the first down. They'll move the chains.
That's 3 catches already now for Green in the first half. He's 6'6", 240. Real inviting target as he beats Adam Jones to the ball.
4 passes intended for Green. He's caught all of them. 4:20 to play. First half in Cincinnati. Rivers has completed 6 straight. Back to the ground game. Woodhead. Not much there for Woodhead. Carlos Dunlap helped make sure of it. You know, we asked Woodhead about going out there week in and week out against some physical specimens. He said, I don't ever look at my size as a disadvantage. I just try to use my speed and agility. And it's working for him now in his 8th year in the league.
Sounds like you, my friend.
Yeah, same deal. That's Woodhead just off to the side of King Dunlap, who is 6'9", 330. Woodhead is 5'8", 200. On 2nd and 10, Rivers takes a shot. That threads the needle to Malcolm Floyd. First down, San Diego out near midfield. 15-yard pass play. Adam Jones there defensively.
Well, the speed of Floyd is what makes this play. Jones is in hot pursuit, but the ball thrown perfectly on the crossing route. Malcolm Floyd with his first catch today and just his 2nd of the season.
So new set of downs for San Diego to work with and hit the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. Shotgun for Rivers. 9 of 10. Handoff to Gordon. Cincinnati ready for it. Gordon goes down. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Could not break free of Vincent Ray.
Yeah, big play by Vinny Ray. Here he is, the linebacker on the inside along with Maaluga, but watch how quickly he recognizes this play, steps right through the hole, and reaches out and brings down Gordon for the loss.
We asked Marvin Lewis about Ray. He said he's like a sponge. He is a pro. He plays bigger than he appears, and the trust level is very high with Ray stepping in for Vontaze Burfict, who cannot return until at least week 7. 2nd and 11. Rivers, drop ball. Keenan Allen.
Now Rivers, he can't believe that his leading receiver, Keenan Allen, dropped that pass. It was perfectly thrown on the hook route. That sets up a 3rd down and 10 plus. Difficult situation for the Chargers to convert here. Just 2 of 5 in the first half.
On a 3rd and long for San Diego. Flags down. Rivers looking downfield, and Rivers will tuck and run. Pushed out by Reggie Nelson, but a flag at the 41.
Reggie Nelson is upset that Rivers dropped the shoulder into him. I mean, quarterback can do that to a defensive back. Rivers faking like he's going out of bounds, and at the end of it, dropped his shoulder, and Reggie Nelson all upset about it. San Diego with an illegal procedure or false start there. Watch Rivers here, not going to go out of bounds. He's going to sees that Nelson has kind of quit on the play.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 72, not up on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, more importantly, though, Geno Atkins being attended to on the field.
Looks like Geno Atkins just had the wind knocked out of him. That's a lot of wind. He appears to be okay. Cyphers on to punt it. And the return man is Tate. Out of bounds. You know, Dan, there are a lot of teams in the NFL that get credit for developing their homegrown talent. I'm not sure Cincinnati gets enough credit for how they have built this team with 1st-round picks, Green, Kirkpatrick, Eifert, 2nd-round picks that have been very successful, and then later picks that have been mainstays on this roster.
Well, 38 drafted players on their rosters. Obviously, you can see most in the NFL. Good example of what Mike Brown is all about. Loyalty is huge here in Cincinnati.
Mike Brown, the owner, the president, the general manager. Marvin Lewis has been around now 13 years as the head coach. A lot of continuity with Cincinnati. Dalton set up the screen. Eifert on the catch and run. Out across the 35. He's got a 1st down, and Dalton has been very good in this first half.
Yeah, 12 of 15 for 144 and a couple of scores, and a real positive play on 1st down to start your hurry-up offense.
41, 23, and 1 regular season record in his career. The issues have been in the postseason. He's 0-4. Dalton loses the ball. And scooped up. Chargers have it. Atachu chugging. Looking for the corner of the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, San Diego. What a turn.
Manti Te'o came on the blitz. He was unblocked. As the Chargers bring 2 from that side, Bernard takes the outside rusher, and Te'o gets home to Dalton. That looked just like the Rivers fumble in the first quarter. Watch number 50 here. That ball is out.
And the crowd stunned. With just over a minute to play, everything was working for Cincinnati.
They'll review this one because it's a turnover. And this may be close to that Tom Brady tuck rule call.
Mike McCoy and the Chargers feel like they've got a touchdown on the board, and it's Te'o who made the play initially, creating the opportunity for Atachu. Tauchu has been dealing with a hamstring injury.
That is really splitting hairs there. His hand was coming forward with the ball in it. That looks like an incomplete pass to me.
Our rules expert, Mike Carey, is standing by in New York. Mike, what'd you see on that play?
Well, the rule is as soon as the quarterback's hand comes forward, if he has complete control, it will be a pass until he tucks it clearly coming back into his body. Obviously, clear and obvious, this is an incomplete pass. I would reverse this on the field.
All right, Mike, this is what Jeff Triplett and company are looking at. Marvin Lewis is waiting on the ruling. 14-12 right now. The touchdown is on the board.
Here comes Teo. Now Bernard is going to come over and block here as Teo comes up the middle. And I agree with Mike Carey because the ball coming forward in control of the hand of Dalton. And Atachu barely getting into the end zone, but
another look. You can't look at intent there. Dalton may have recognized that a player was coming in to rush and thought about, all right, I'm not going to throw this, but the arm was forward, as Mike mentioned and you mentioned.
Now we'll find out what Jeff Triplett saw under the hood.
Call on the field was a fumble return for a touchdown. Fans are sensing a change.
Ruling on the field is reversed. Quarterback's arm was moving forward when hit. It is an incomplete pass. Reset the game clock to 1 minute, 16 seconds. It'll be 2nd and 10. Cincinnati's ball.
He never had a chance really to tuck it, but his hand coming forward with control of the ball. And as Mike Carey said, that this is an incomplete pass. Jeff Triplett seeing it exactly the same way.
Well, this is a huge call. San Diego would have cut into this lead in the tail end of the second quarter. Instead, Cincinnati retains possession with 1:16 to go.
And 2 timeouts to work with.
2nd and 10. Giovanni Bernard going up the middle across the 40-yard line for a 6-yard pickup for the Bengals. Cincinnati did a terrific job in protecting Andy Dalton last season. Allowed us 23 sacks, the 3rd fewest in the league. Didn't allow a sack last week. Bernard again, 3 yards.
You got to call a timeout here.
Cincinnati might be just going conservative here. San Diego, if you're the Chargers, why not take a timeout and force Cincinnati's hand?
Absolutely. Somebody should call a timeout. Or the Bengals very conservative. They're not going for it on 4th and very short. Elect to watch this clock wind down, and so does Mike McCoy and the Chargers. Chargers also had 2 timeouts and a guy by the name of Phillip Rivers running your hurry-up offense. Give him a chance.
So both these teams content and just heading to the locker room. Keenan Allen, the return man who muffed that initial punt of the day, standing at his own 10. Play clock and game clock, there's a 3-second difference. They don't even have to pump the ball. That's it. This first half comes to a close. Cincinnati hits the locker room with a 14-6 lead on San Diego. It could have been a different story if that Tauchu fumble recovery and return had stood up for the Chargers. San Diego will receive the football to open up the second half. 14-6, Bengals leading the Chargers. We'll come back to Verizon Halftime Report after this message. And a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Melvin Gordon taking it to the second level. A.J. Green going upstairs for the touchdown. Marvin Jones, touchdown, Bengals. Start of the third quarter in Cincinnati. The Bengals 14, the Chargers 6. Right now, let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam and the teamwork of Andy Dalton and Marvin Jones on the deep ball.
Yeah, 45-yard perfect strike by Dalton all the way down the field. Jones gets behind Brandon Flowers by 5 yards and couldn't ask for a better throw and catch.
Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn with you here at Paul Brown Stadium. Both teams 1-0. Cincinnati has to feel good about what it's done in that first half offensively. If you're San Diego, what changes have to be made? What adjustments have to be made if you're Mike McCoy second half?
Well, we saw that the man-to-man coverage by San Diego, especially Brandon Flowers on first A.J. Green from the 16-yard line here. Green is going to recognize the man-to-man and run the post pattern right down to the back of the end zone and then get free. And we just saw what Marvin Jones did against Flowers and man-to-man. So San Diego needing to play perhaps more zone and not vacate the middle of the field and allow these Bengal receivers to get behind the coverage.
San Diego, 17 new players on the roster from last season. Team that went 9-7 but fell short of the playoffs. They'll get the football to start this second half. Mike Nugent, who missed a field goal in the first half, will kick it off. Second half underway from the jungle. Oliver will take it out. Oliver slowed down and brought down up across the 20-yard line as we check in with Evan Washburn. Evan?
Fine, Dan. I asked Mike McCoy about what Dan was just talking about, what they need to do on those big pass plays. Now, he wouldn't offer any schematics. He said we just need to execute better. Now, he obviously feels this team knows what to do in this situation. They were here last week, and this is where having Phillip Rivers really helps. As for Marvin Lewis, he was pleased with what they did defensively, except against the run. He said they have to do a much better job against those draws. Melvin Gordon with a little over 50 yards on the ground, guys.
All right, Evan, Mike McCoy said the character of his team was revealed once again last week. The resilience that's been a big part of who they are over the last few seasons. They were in a hole last week, in a little bit of a hole this week. It's Gordon. He was met right at the 25-yard line. Gordon didn't go down, though, on first contact, tried to spin, and picks up 4 yards. Iloka lay in the wood.
Great second half, obviously, as Rivers hit 20 in a row to lead that comeback, trailing 28-3.
David Johnson in the backfield in front of Gordon, lining up at that fullback position. Fake the handoff. Rivers looking downfield, throws in stride to Allen. Keenan Allen trying to get involved here. 13 yards on the pass play, working against Adam Jones.
And that's really a smart play selection by Frank Reich, because you want to get Allen going again. You know, he had that muff punt that was recovered by the Bengals that led to their first touchdown. He dropped the pass in the first half, only had 1 catch for 3 yards. That's a good start in the second half.
First down for San Diego. Give it to Gordon again. And Gordon fighting and clawing for yardage. 3-yard pickup. Now Aluga there defensively for Cincinnati. Frank Reich, 14-year playing career, second year as the offensive coordinator for San Diego. We asked about the relationship that he and Phillip Rivers share. Rivers told us it was huge that Reich was the quarterback coach for a year, because then it really eased the transition to the offensive coordinator spot. He understood where Rivers stood on so many issues and how he liked to prepare.
I asked him what he felt his edge was in this game. He says, number 17.
Play clock down to 1. Rivers gets the snap. Fires. Finds a soft spot at midfield and connects with Stevie Johnson, former Buffalo Bill and San Francisco 49er. Signed a 3-year, $12 million deal, basically to replace Eddie Royal.
Well, he's got a bigger body than Eddie Royal, and that's why the Chargers like to use him in the slot. He's got quickness and size to make things happen.
3 1,000-yard seasons with Buffalo. Gordon takes the lane, turns it upfield, and Gordon is brought down inside the 30. Melvin Gordon showing some pop. Quick feet, can change direction on a dime to the tune of 20 yards.
Well, watch him start here and then cut back again. We've seen this a couple of times out of Gordon, but you got to love the way he finishes off the play. Good block by Franklin there. Malcolm Floyd gets in the way of Kirkpatrick, but how about this power as he knocks Floyd down and gets extra yards.
14 carries, 83 yards for Gordon, a long run of 27. San Diego a 1st and 10 at the 30 of Cincinnati. Balance so far on this drive. Rivers working from the gun. Rivers lets it fly. Lunging attempt. Stevie Johnson's got it, and a penalty marker down at the 14, working against Kirkpatrick.
This may be against Stevie Johnson, pushing off on Kirkpatrick. He's got his hand right in the face. That might be the call.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 27, defense. That penalty is declined.
Wow.
The plays,
They missed one here. Great effort by Johnson to lay out and make the catch, turn his body to protect the ball.
It's a 15-yard pass play. And a new set of downs for San Diego. Line of scrimmage is now the 15. They trail by 8. Third catch of the day for Johnson. Woodhead in the backfield getting instructions from Rivers. Woodhead right in the middle of blast to the 10. 5-yard gain for Danny Woodhead. Good block from Hairston up front.
Yeah, this offensive line must get a pep talk in that locker room at halftime, because they're coming out really firing off the ball and pushing the Bengal defensive line back and allowing that time Woodhead, before that Gordon, pick up good yardage.
Rivers, one touchdown pass away from setting a new franchise record for career touchdowns through the air. 2nd and 5. Toss it underneath. Johnson turns it upfield. Johnson's got the angle. Touchdown. There's the Chargers record for Philip Rivers. He connects with Stevie Johnson. And Philip Rivers, the all-time leader in career touchdowns in San Diego football history.
Well, he gets the ball out quickly and allows Johnson to set up his blocks. Malcolm Floyd gets away with a clip there at the 4-yard line. A block in the back that's not called. Walk-in touchdown. Rivers on the drive, 4 for 4 for 46 yards and that touchdown. Congratulations, Philip.
255 for Philip Rivers. All-time leader for the Chargers, now tied with Sonny Jurgensen for 14th place on the all-time list in NFL history. Extra point is good. Cincinnati's lead is now 14-13. Philip Rivers, the legend, continues. Philip Rivers making his 146th consecutive start, and now the Chargers' all-time leader in career touchdown passes. San Diego not electing to go for 2, still very early, 10:34 to go in the 3rd. So they take the extra point as Josh Lambo kicks it off. Booming kick over the head of Adam Jones, and the Bengals will have it at the 20. Dan, Philip Rivers had a message for you.
It means a lot. It's very special. And the fact, Dan, that you're calling the game even adds to it. Obviously, getting to know you and knowing what a player you were, a Hall of Fame player, and what you mean to this organization. It's certainly humbling to be in your company. And you know, I think the first thing I think about is how many players were involved in all those touchdowns, from protections to the guys catching the ball. So it truly was a group effort.
Well, congratulations to the guy. I mean, he's fantastic, and I look forward to the day where I can welcome him to Canton, Ohio, in the Hall of Fame, because he is definitely in that category. Congratulations again, Philip. Don't stop now.
How about a comeback maybe for you? Try to put a few more on the board.
Let me get back to you.
Okay. We'll talk to your people. Jeremy Hill driving up the middle for a 1.5 yards on the play. All right, so now you're Cincinnati. You did a lot right in the first half. You look up, and Philip Rivers is trying to work his magic as usual, and the score is 14-13. What are you thinking if you're Marvin Lewis and company, the way this game has evolved?
Well, you can see that the tempo that San Diego used, well, that's what Cincinnati has to do to match it. Get the energy going back again. Get this crowd back into the game. Right now, this place is dead silent, and they're concerned that Rivers is on the run.
2nd and 9. Dalton will run, trip, down low. Corey Liuget, good athlete, signed a 5-year, $50 million deal. He's a playmaker, now in his 5th year in the NFL. It's a 3-yard pickup.
Number 94 is Corey Liuget, former number 1 pick, as he is fighting there with Bowling, and then reacts quickly to Dalton and keeps him from picking up the first down.
Dime package here for San Diego, including Adrian Phillips, who has just upgraded from the practice squad. San Diego made a roster move yesterday because of the injury to Adai. 3rd and 6 for the Bengals. Dalton steps up, fires, it's complete. Eifert fighting for the football. 15-yard gain through the air and a first down.
Working against the corner, Jason Verrett. This ball thrown perfectly. I guess it's just the big body of Eifert keeps the smaller body of Verrett away from this ball. You can't ask for better coverage there. Tremendous effort to hang on to that with Verrett right on his back.
Eifert was a high school basketball standout in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We asked him about those skills and whether or not they really translate. He said, oh yeah, they certainly do. Boxing out, treating things like an offensive rebound, timing your jumps. Jeremy Hill up the gut. And they'll push the pile for a gain of 4.
And that was a heck of a throw by Dalton, and just what the Bengals needed, because that was a 3rd down situation. They needed to convert, and he threw a perfect pass. He's thrown a lot of good passes today, but that one under real pressure.
2nd and 6. The multi-back approach for Cincinnati. We've seen it used with Hill and Bernard. They bring different skills. Motion man is Green. He had the early touchdown, but he's been quiet. Oh, he drops it! Hill can't gather! San Diego's got it with Jimmy Wilson stomping on top of it. Chargers take over. 2nd turnover for Hill today.
Well, he fumbled 5 times last year, just lost 2 of them, but that's a good pitch right to his hands, right near his eyeballs, and he just can't control it. The ball bounces away from him, and Jimmy Wilson from Point Loma High School is on point with this recovery.
That ball was up for grabs, and it's Wilson in his first year with the Chargers, signed from Miami, a 2-year, $4.85 million deal, jumping on top of it. And it gives San Diego the football at the 36 of Cincinnati. 7:46 to go in the 3rd. Rivers operates on a 1st and 10. Give it to Gordon. Tries to accelerate and limited to a gain of 1. He was bottled up by Geno Atkins.
Yeah, but what we're seeing from Gordon is he's making the first guy miss. Almost every time the first Bengal that tries to bring him down, he has the ability to just slip away to the inside or the outside, and that time didn't pick up much, but he averted a loss.
2nd and 9. Working out of the gun, Rivers. He's 13 of 15, 132 yards and a touchdown. Rivers steps up, in trouble, flag down. Rivers thrown down by Dunlap.
Flag thrown, you would anticipate a holding call, but the Bengals will probably refuse this, take the sack, and bring up 3rd and long.
Holding, 75, offense. Penalties decline, 3rd down.
Well, it's Harrison again at that right guard position, in for DJ Fluker. Penalty is declined, Dan, as you mentioned. And now San Diego faces a 3rd and long. And not only the injury to Fluker, but Johnny Troutman is out with a broken arm. He started at right guard last year when Jeremy Clary went down. Fluker was the starter at right tackle. 3rd and 15. Rivers, short dump off. Woodhead after the catch, weaves his way through some traffic and comes up short of the first down.
But he got enough yardage to put Lambo in field goal range. We don't know a whole lot about Josh Lambo, the rookie out of Texas A&M. It was perfect last week. from 32 and 25. And in pregame warmups, from this distance, he hit a 56-yarder. Little or no wind at all to bother the ball.
Out of Bradenton, Florida. This is a 47-yard attempt. He is 2 of 2 on the day. Made a field goal from 40. Made a field goal from 32. From 47. Lambo. No good. Cincinnati holds on to the lead with 5:58 remaining in the third. Replay every game of the 2015 season on demand with NFL Game Pass. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial. No points for San Diego on that possession. And Cincinnati takes over at the 37. It's Bernard. Nothing there. Bernard busts it to the outside. And Bernard turns it into a first down. Lowering the shoulder in on Jimmy Wilson. It's an 11-yard gain for Bernard.
Well, the Bengals come out with 3 tight ends, 1 at fullback here and then 2 on the line of scrimmage. But you talk about patience and the ability to see that to the outside, then explodes around Teo, and a big hit on the sidelines. It may be helmet to helmet, but that's okay. Bernard is a running back there, not defenseless.
Line of scrimmage is now the 48. Cincinnati 14, San Diego 13. Dalton in trouble. Dalton throws it away. Pressure from Jimmy Wilson.
Jimmy Wilson's all over the place. The last 3 plays, recovered a fumble, tackled Bernard, and now comes on the safety blitz. And he came free. And Dalton again quickly decides to just throw the ball away and keep from being tackled for a big loss.
7th round draft pick in 2011 by the Dolphins.
Where you going? 50-50.
Out of Montana. 2nd and 10 for Cincinnati.
R32. Middle.
Here's Dalton. Rush coming again. Dalton. Tip ball. Teo makes the play defensively for San Diego, and it's 3rd and long.
Boy, Teo really broke on this ball quickly, and if he can get his other hand on this ball, just his right hand is all he can, he would walk into the end zone because there's only Dalton to beat.
Cincinnati working quickly. Deep ball. Green over his head. Incomplete. Penalty marker thrown at the 39-yard line.
And it's in the secondary of the Chargers there. An illegal contact, perhaps.
Pass. Illegal contact. Defense, number 54. The 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
John Pagano's defense last season ranked in the top 10. Corey Legent said that they have the ability to be a top 5 defense. Melvin Ingram called on the penalty that will keep this Cincinnati drive alive.
But again, a Bengal receiver getting behind the Chargers secondary. Dalton just missed it. It would have been 6.
6 offensive linemen here. Jake Fisher, the rookie out of Oregon, is in. Play action. Dalton has the time. Loops it out. Catch is made. It is Fisher down the sideline. And Fisher hit down low. Jake Fisher, his first NFL catch. A former tight end. And clearly polished enough to get involved in the pass game.
Here he is right here on the end of the line of scrimmage, so he's an eligible receiver. You can see all the other linemen on the other side of the formation. Nice soft toss, too. Didn't have the big guy stretch out. Good for 31 yards.
Cincinnati back in the red zone. Dalton, he's running it. Dalton, he goes down shy of the 10-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup for Dalton.
And that was a designed run, but Jerry Atauchu staring Dalton down in the backfield. Dalton with a really good read to go to where all his blockers were. That was going to be a naked bootleg, except for Atauchu in the way.
2nd and 4, 14-13 Cincinnati, and even 4 minutes to play in the third. In the backfield, Hewitt and Bernard. Dalton on a give, Bernard. Flag down. Bernard brought down inside the 5. Penalty flag thrown at the 12-yard line. Ryan Hewitt with a block.
Offside defense, number 54. That penalty's declined and resulting in the play as a first down.
Well, here's Melvin Ingram. Got called for the illegal contact, and now jumping into the neutral zone. And the Bengals are right at the 2.
Domatop Peko is in. Fisher in as an extra lineman. On first and goal, Bernard is swarmed in the backfield.
And that's a rookie, Darius Philon, the 6th round pick for San Diego. He has made a big impact on this defensive line. Watch number 93 from the left side of the screen. Just discard the blocker there, Clint Bowling, and get in the backfield.
The rookie out of Arkansas, Hugh Jackson, the longtime coach, former head man in Oakland, the offensive coordinator for the Bengals. 8th play of the drive on a 2nd and goal. Take the handoff, bootleg. Dalton slings it low, incomplete in the direction of Ryan Hewitt, and it's 3rd and goal for the Bengals.
That was a good decision by Dalton not to try to complete that one, because Donald Butler was in position on Hewitt.
.254 remaining in the 3rd.
Now, if I'm Andy Dalton, I'm looking up here for number 18. A.J. Green with a wide split, though. They didn't give much room to work with over there.
3 receivers set, 9th play of the drive. Dalton trying to add to the Cincinnati lead. Dalton hooks a pass. Too high. Sanu, the intended target, covered from Patrick Robinson, and it's 4th down for the Bengals.
Sanu with no catches today. He had his man beat to the corner there, Robinson. And Dalton would like to have that one back.
It'll be a 21-yard attempt for Mike Nugent. Missed one from 36 yards away. Chip shot for Nugent. Clark Harris to stop it, Peter to hold it. And he nails it. A 21-yarder gives Cincinnati a 17-13 lead. We've got 2:44 remaining in the 3rd. Andy Dalton directs a 10-play, 60-yard drive, 21-yard field goal for Mike Nugent. Put Cincinnati in front 17-13. Now Nugent will kick it off to Brandon Oliver. Oliver moves forward, going to take it out 4 yards deep in the end zone. Oliver hit at the 20. They'll give him forward progress right there. Josh Shaw, the corner backup, makes the play on special teams. Flag comes down late. They were ready to peel off the pile.
Now, that's one thing you can't do, is you can't pull your opponent off a pile. That's considered unsportsmanlike conduct now.
Cincinnati player Sean Williams shaken up on the play. Backup safety. Jeff Triplett sorting it out.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Tony, number 48, the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
Nick DeZubnar, the rookie, called. Phillip Rivers, 34 of his last 36 passes have been completions.
5 for 5 on the last drive, a touchdown at 58 yards.
San Diego deep in its own territory. Rivers in trouble, and Rivers is dumped at the 7-yard line. Will Clark, and a loss of 3 on the play.
Well, that's Will Clark's first sack. Second-year player. And right now, the Bengals, Paul Gunther, defensive coordinator, able to rotate that D-line in. It's a deep defensive line, 4 really stud guys up front there, and Clark picks up the big sack.
It's 2nd and 13 now for the Chargers, under 2 minutes to go in the third. They handle the rush, and Danny Woodhead shot out of a cannon to the 14-yard line, and he picks up 7. Adam Jones down low to make the stop.
Well, you got to be down low. Can you find him here? Well, oh, there he is. 5'8". Tough for the linebackers, especially to see him on a draw play. They got to see through both their defensive line and the offensive line of San Diego's.
It's a 3rd and 6. This crowd has been re-energized. Shotgun for Rivers. Rush coming. Gets rid of it. Stevie Johnson is down.
Boy, and Gilberry just leveled Rivers after he threw that ball. Good pressure by the Bengals. The exact way they wanted to start this drive defensively after giving up a touchdown to Rivers and company on the opening drive of the second half.
So a quiet 3 and out for San Diego, and Adam Jones, dangerous return man. He was 2nd in the NFL in punt return average last season, 12 yards per return. Mike Cyphris will punt. Flag down. Jones backpedals to the 29. Jones finds the opening and caught as he crossed midfield. John Phillips on special teams makes the play. Penalty marker is down at the 43.
This is a penalty on the gunner here, whether it's against San Diego for not coming back onto the field quickly. This is the Chargers snapper, Mike Wint.
Our Cincinnati guy back home. Medical staff is out there to check on Wint.
Holding. Number 26 for the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down. Timeout.
It's Josh Shaw who was called on the penalty. Will step aside, late stages of the third. Last month, Andy Dalton and his wife Jordan hosted the King for a Day program at Kings Island Amusement Park. The 250 attendees included children enduring cancer and bone marrow transplants and their families. Each attendee received an entry pass to the park, a private lunch with the Daltons, and a chance to enjoy the day with the Bengals quarterback. We spoke with Andy about it. It means a lot to him and to his family, doing a wonderful thing here in the community.
Yeah, raising funds for families of cancer victims because insurance doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hidden costs in hotel rooms, airfare. So good job, Andy and his wife.
Update you on this. Mike Wint took a shot, and obviously the concern right now is the potential for a head injury. He's the snapper for San Diego. He got up on his own and jogged off the field. Give it up to Bernard. Legs keep moving. Bernard picks up extra yards. It's a 6-yard gain for Giovanni Bernard. And it appears it will be the final play of this third quarter. So we go to the fourth at Paul Brown Stadium. The Cincinnati Bengals 17, the San Diego Chargers 13. Welcome back to Cincinnati after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Start of the fourth quarter here in Cincinnati. Bengals 17, the Chargers 13. San Diego coming off a win over Detroit. Cincinnati beat up on Oakland last week. It's a 2nd and 3. Line of scrimmage just across the 25. Bernard, spin move, and Bernard has got a first down. Ryan Hewitt with a good block. We have not seen Jeremy Hill since his second fumble. That's a 10-yard gain. Injury update downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, Mike Wynn has been undergoing the concussion protocol on the sideline now with a team doctor and an unaffiliated neuro trauma consultant. So they are reviewing the play. They gave him the initial test on the sideline. He's on the sideline without a helmet currently. Now the backup, it seems, would be number 83, John Phillips, if they need a snapper before Wint would be clear.
All right, Evan. Phillips was practicing long snaps on the sideline. Long pass is over the head of Burkhead. Versatile running back. They'll play him in multiple positions. But Brandon Flowers there, stride for stride with the Nebraska product. So this is in case Phillips' services are needed in that role.
Well, John Phillips, he'll have to snap for extra points, for field goals, and for punts. Something he's not familiar with.
Nope.
Dalton is one of his last 6. That one completion was to the backup tackle, Jake Fisher. Bernard hit hard. Manti Te'o, no gain.
And you talked about Jeremy Hill not being in the game since he fumbled. That's 6 straight carries now for Giovanni Bernard. Remember, they tried to use him down by the goal line. It was stuffed on first down, and then Dalton missed the next 2 passes, and they had to settle for the field goal.
11 carries, 66 yards for Bernard. Hill, 10 carries, 39 yards, a pair of fumbles. 3rd and 10, rush is coming. Dalton gets rid of it, breaking a tackle. Marvin Jones, flag is down. Jones fell forward. He was hit from behind. 2 penalty markers on the play.
Yeah, this is going to be an illegal pick by the Bengals to get Jones free in the middle. We may get Tyler Eifert for the illegal pick. A lot of traffic in the middle there, and it's going to come back.
Pass interference, 18, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's A.J. Green, who's been held in check. 3 catches, 45 yards. He does have a touchdown. Jones, 2 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown, the 2 leading receivers for Cincinnati. So Jeremy Hill has been in spectator mode with the helmet on, waiting for another opportunity. 4 receivers set for Cincinnati. This is now 3rd and 20 for the Bengals. Bernard remains in there. Eifert, he's been held to 3 catches, 40 yards. Dalton locks in on his receiver. It's Sanu getting involved, and Sanu is well short of the first down, hit by Eric Weddle. 15-yard pass play to Mohamed Sanu.
Well, and because there was so much yardage to gain for Cincinnati, the Chargers playing a zone, they let the catch by Sanu, and then they converged on him and kept him well short of the first down. Defenses on both sides of the ball now taking control of the game.
And the long snapper Wint is heading to the San Diego locker room. Kevin Huber, the punt. Keenan Allen waiting for it. Over Allen's head. It bounces up the 7 and just dies. Cincinnati downs it. Sean Williams getting down the field. 54-yard punt, well placed by Cincinnati native Huber. Your weekend starts with the Redskins squaring off with the New York Giants. It's all here on Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. Washington and New York met last year. Giants dominated 45-14. NFC East has featured a different division champion in each of the last 4 seasons. We'll have it for you here on CBS Thursday night from East Rutherford, New Jersey.
And I can safely say those 2 teams don't like each other.
Yeah, that's not a cliche.
They have a long, long history.
That's real.
Of hatred. Should be a great one.
1st and 10 from the 5. Running play, Gordon. Gordon driven down as he hit the 9-yard line. Wallace Gilberry with a tackle. It's a gain of 4. Mike McCoy's team last week put up 483 yards in week 1, the most in the NFL. Just 250 yards of offense today for San Diego. 88 on the ground for Gordon. Sets up as a receiver, now will shift. Plenty of time on the play clock. We are under 12 minutes to play here in Cincinnati. Rivers, pump and throw. Incomplete, trying to squeeze it into Allen. Adam Jones there defensively.
Now you see how disappointed that Jones is because he had a chance to pick this one off and walk into the end zone. He jumps in front of Keenan Allen, and Allen got his left hand on the ball, or Jones might have had a score.
Jones, a $35,000 fine this week by the league after his tussle with Amari Cooper of the Oakland Raiders. Play clock down to 2. Down to 1. Rivers calls a timeout.
Well, mark that. At 11:50, the Chargers used one of their 3 timeouts here in the fourth quarter. That could come back to that old word, haunt you.
Mike Wint out of Elder High School here in Cincinnati, Ohio, is back on the sideline. The long snapper for San Diego with a helmet on. Will they need him here? 3rd and 6. Rivers trying to convert after the timeout. Play clock winding down. Rush is coming. Rivers steps up. Rivers trying to avoid the end zone, and he does. It's a sack down at the 1. Carlos Dunlap. Geno Atkins provided the initial heat.
Well, Rivers just doesn't have enough time here. Atkins gets in there. They're going to have to split this sack in thirds. But look at the move by Atkins as he gets around Chris Watt. 4th sack of the day. Keenan Allen said he had his man beat down the sidelines. River never had a chance to find him.
And it is Mike Wint snapping. Perfectly. The punt from Cypress. Tate moves back. Fields cleanly at the 44. Makes a cut. In San Diego territory and buried at the 39 by Perriman on special teams. A 53-yard punt, a 16-yard return, and a short field for Andy Dalton and company to work with at the 10:54 mark. First half, Dalton 12 of 16, 2 touchdowns. Second half, just 3 of 8 for Cincinnati.
And his problem is he's overthrown guys. He's missed some guys that were wide open. One of them in the end zone, Sanu. And then down the sidelines, last possession, Rex Burkhead.
They are sticking with Giovanni Bernard in the backfield. It's Bernard. He's got a hole. Bernard! Great juke move by Bernard! Spilled out across the 15 by Weddle. 26-yard gain for Giovanni Bernard.
I think Bill Raftery would say, go back and pick up your lingerie with that move right there on Jason Verrett.
We'll find out if the Bengals have enough onions to win this game.
Double order.
10:20 to go on the 4th. I like when you do impressions, Dan. That's a whole new side of your personality.
It's the only one I got.
That's it. You're a one-impression guy. Double tight end set. Bernard bounces to the outside, and Bernard is in. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
It's coming back, though. Tyler Kroft was holding right at the point of attack.
Holding number 81 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Still a beautiful move. Couple of beautiful moves by Bernard. But the holding penalty on the rookie tight end, number 81 here. So he's going to go out and grab Eric Weddle and keeps Weddle from releasing to the outside and making a tackle on Bernard. It looked like Bernard knew it too.
Kroft in his first year out of Rutgers. 3rd-round draft pick. And he will head to the Cincinnati sideline. They will send Jake Fisher in. Fisher had the catch earlier, covering 31 yards.
And you can hear Jeff Triplett saying 74 is an eligible receiver. They're all messed up with their formation and personnel, and Dalton will have to burn a timeout.
At the 10:04 mark, Cincinnati holding on to a 17-13 lead. Week 2 continues later today on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tune in tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN.
And the big thing here is it's still first down, and they were still in great field position. So you don't have to get in a desperate mode here. You can still run your offense. And the way that Giovanni Bernard is running the ball right now with great conviction and really some classy moves, I would feature Bernard either on the ground or get him the ball out in space so he can use some of that talent. But talent is what Dalton has in abundance with this offense. Remember, A.J. Green's been in the end zone on a high pass early in the game. And Tyler Eifert had a couple red zone touchdowns last week against the Raiders.
It's a 1st and 16 for Cincinnati from the 18-yard line.
18.
Motion man is Burkhead. Dalton on a toss. Bernard slips one tackler. Bernard hit and gets a hand from this crowd for the effort. Manti Te'o couldn't bring him down initially, and Bernard turns it upfield for extra yardage. 9-yard pickup. Late flag on the play, thrown at the 8.
Dalton saying it's against San Diego, so this will be a first down for the Bengals inside the 5-yard line.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 22, defense. After this, we can go automatic first down.
Well, Jason Verrett, he's a feisty corner out of TCU. Last year, placed on IR with a shoulder injury. And Verrett got into it late with Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mismatch. 6'7", 330 against 5'10", 188. Not smart.
First and goal inside the 5.
You guys got 56.
Bengals looking for a cushion here. And a give. Bernard buried. Kendall Reyes holds him to no gain.
And you wonder if Jeremy Hill is buried on the sidelines. This is where you'd love to see your power back, 6'1", 235 in the game. You can see that time running in the middle, the difficulty that Bernard had.
Hill had a pair of touchdown runs last week, but he has not seen the light of day since the second fumble of the afternoon. We counted down to the 9-minute mark of the 4th. 104 yards on the ground for Bernard. Dalton trying to hit A.J. Green. It's incomplete. You had receivers stacked in the area with Green and Sanu.
Not only incomplete, but almost intercepted by Verrett. Looked like there was some confusion on this play. And what happened there is Melvin Ingram got his hand on the ball, actually just his little finger. And that caused it to go off course and almost get picked off. Dalton now 2 for his last 8 attempts.
54
3rd and
down.
goal. Inside the 5. 5 receivers set.
There's Eifert on the outside.
Double shift. Hey, watch the apex left.
And a timeout called by San Diego with 8:54 remaining. Chargers have 1 timeout left.
The Bengals line up in that formation with Eifert outside. Their Chargers countered with Jimmy Wilson. And with 2 other receivers on that side, it's difficult to double team the big tight end when he's the farthest from the ball.
Pivotal play here, a field goal if Cincinnati has to settle for it. Keep San Diego within 1 score. A touchdown changes the whole complexion of this 4th quarter. If you're Andy Dalton, what are you thinking about here on 3rd and goal?
Well, I think I just showed my hand there. I would be looking for number 85, Tyler Eifert. I like the size, I like the athletic ability, and the fact that he was out last year with that elbow injury has really rejuvenated him, made him appreciate what he is as a National Football League player. Now he's single covered on the other side of the field, up top.
3rd and goal for Cincinnati. And a flag comes down.
Yeah, illegal procedure against the Bengals.
False start. Number 82, offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
That's Marvin Jones, and that's 8 penalties costing Cincinnati 70 yards today.
Well, that changes things a little bit, but the other thing it does for the offense, it gives you a little bit more room to maneuver. Chargers still looking for their first sack of the afternoon of Andy Dalton. The offensive line for the Bengals done a great job.
3rd and goal for Cincinnati. Bernard in the backfield. Play clock is down to 2. Dalton looks, end zone, it's caught! Eifert, touchdown, Bengals. Andy Dalton delivers to his big tight end.
Now the Chargers shifted Brandon Flowers over on Eifert. Flowers is not going to want to come back to Cincinnati. 3rd time today he's been beat for a touchdown pass. What a move by the big tight end. Faking the out route, jumping inside of Flowers, and getting the ball from Dalton, and then realizing he's got to get his feet down, and he does it perfectly.
John Pagano, fiery defensive coordinator of the San Diego Chargers, and the disappointment that they could not make the play on Eifert and force Cincinnati into a field goal. 6 plays, 38 yards, set up by good defense and an excellent punt return. Nugent, the extra point. It's a 24-13 lead for Cincinnati. Eifert out all of last season, and Dalton and Eifert are making up for lost time. The Chargers defense could not get it done. Well, Tyler Eifert getting it done through the first 2 weeks of the season. Eifert 4 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown here today. He's wearing that protective brace on his right arm, and we asked him about it. He said, look, I can't bend my arm all the way up because of the brace, so it does restrict me. I worry about fumbles, but it's doctor's orders. Brandon Oliver takes a knee, and San Diego will have it at the 20 after Eifert suffered a dislocated elbow last year in the season opener. 24-13, Bengals. Phillip Rivers with 8:49 to work with and his team down by 11.
Now, who would you rather have in this situation than Phillip Rivers? So many times in his career, he's rallied his team from behind.
Chargers trying to start 2-0 for the first time since the 2012 season, and a flag on the play back at the 15-yard line. Michael Johnson combining with Vincent
number
Ray.
74, the offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And that's Orlando Franklin on the left side. He signed a big 5-year, $36 million deal coming over from Denver as a free agent.
And the penalties starting to pile up against the San Diego offense. And 6 total penalties in the ball game against San Diego, but they've had a couple now when they've been backed up in their own end of the field. Critical errors.
And you got that heavyweight matchup between Franklin and Geno Atkins, a 3-time Pro Bowler. 1st and 20. 8.5 remaining. Shotgun, Rivers dumps it off. Woodhead. Hit by Leon Hall, playing the nickel for Cincinnati. 6-yard gain for Woodhead on the catch and run.
Yeah, Leon Hall, another one of those former #1 picks. Talking about how this Bengal team was built. He's been a long-time veteran. Good player, now taking the nickel role.
In his 9th year, Adam Jones emerging as the starter on that right side. And Hall will often play the slot receiver. 2nd and 14. More flags. Play never even gets going.
Yeah, Joe Barksdale came out of his stance. That's what happens when they
start. Number 72, the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
What happens when the defense starts to get cranked up and they're starting to get after your quarterback, your offensive linemen get a little bit jumpy. They don't want to be the guy responsible for Rivers going down, and Barksdale starting too early draws another flag.
Chargers going in the wrong direction. It's 2nd and 19 now with 7:35 remaining in the 4th. 7 penalties, 54 yards against San Diego. Rivers lets it fly. Almost intercepted. Should have been picked by Iloka. And a penalty down at the 23.
Illegal contact. Number 27 of the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's Dre Kirkpatrick.
What a bailout there for San Diego. Automatic first down when the Chargers are just struggling mightily. Iloka dropped a sure interception, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Stevie Johnson leading the Chargers with 5 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. Ladarius Green, the tight end, 4 catches, 38 yards. Keenan Allen just 2 catches for 16 yards today. 1st and 10, Woodhead, the motion man. Rivers underneath, it's Woodhead. Makes a cut. And Woodhead picks up extra yards after the catch. Lemur will get credit for the stop. Injured Bengal on the play, slow to get up. Wallace Gilberry. In his 4th year with Cincinnati, formerly with Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Undrafted free agent back in 2008. Will Clark will come in to replace him on a 2nd and 1.
And both Gilberry and Will Clark have a sack this afternoon. Rivers has gone down 4 times.
We hit 7 minutes of play. Looking for the first down. Danny Woodhead. He's got enough. 3-yard gain going way down low to move the chains. Tuesday, it's a matchup you don't want to miss. Stephen Colbert goes one-on-one with Donald Trump this Tuesday on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. New set of downs for San Diego. 6.5-minute mark of the 4th. Cincinnati with a 24-13 lead. From the gun, Rivers has the time. Ball popped up in the air. Incomplete. It was hit by Clark. And it was Lemur who tried to get under it for the INT.
Yeah, Chargers have gone away from Ladarius Green. The Bengals have been all over him since he caught 4 balls in the first half. And that pass that time was intended for Green. And ball hung in the air for an eternity. Neither Chargers nor a Bengal could get to it.
2nd and 10. It's been exclusively Woodhead on this drive in the backfield. Rivers flushed, hits Green. Again, modest gain for San Diego. Not a lot downfield for the Chargers. Ray Kirkpatrick over there defensively. Penalty marker back at the 19.
Yeah, in the Charger backfield. He's going to be holding against San Diego. That nullifies a really good catch by Ladarius Green.
That'll be the 8th penalty of the day against the Chargers.
And it seems like every other play they're committing a
Holding.
foul.
Number 65 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
It's Chris Watt who stepped into the role of starting center last year when 4 other players went down. Nick Hardwick retired, and now it's Watt's job as a 2nd-year offensive lineman from Notre Dame.
And Wallace Gilberry, who limped off the field a couple of plays ago, was the guy back in the lineup that Chris Watt was holding.
Cincinnati gave up 196 rushing yards to San Diego in the playoff game 2 years ago. And while Gordon has looked very good at times, you can't say that San Diego has run the football with a large amount of success. They've gone away from it now with Woodhead catching, weaving Woodhead across the 35. Close to a first down, but not enough. Leon Hall makes the eventual tackle. 19 yards for Woodhead.
A great job on the screen by Rivers to pull the defense towards him, looking away, dumping it over the top, and then out in front, Orlando Franklin is there to give Woodhead that big gain.
And the quick snap to Woodhead. He's got a first down to move the chains across the 45. 9-yard pickup, 5:28 and counting left in the fourth.
Yeah, they cannot afford to waste any time at all, trailing by 11 points, obviously. Got to speed things up.
They need 8 points, and they need 3 points. Upstairs. It's actually knocked away by Floyd. Kirkpatrick was in a better position for it than Floyd, the intended receiver.
Great coverage by Trey Kirkpatrick. Look at the position he has, and here's the defensive play made by Malcolm Floyd. Gets a little leverage by putting his left hand on the shoulder of Kirkpatrick. Like Dikembe Mutombo on that one.
New Hall of Famer.
Yeah, how about that? Congratulations. Waving his finger at people.
That is 2 basketball references by Dan Fouts today. A new record. 2nd and 10. From the 46. Underneath, Ladarius Green. Those long strides by Green out of Pensacola, Florida. Ran track in high school, and you can see those skills. 9-yard gain.
Yeah, smart play, too, to get out of bounds. I would have liked to have seen him try to dive for the first down, though. This brings up a 3rd and short.
Working quickly here. Woodhead forces his way for the first down. It looked like he had ran into a wall. Instead, it kept the legs churning for a gain of 5.
Well, that's the key, really. I mean, he's got such power in his legs and desire in his heart to pick up that first down because he was stopped initially.
Line of scrimmage just shy of the 40. San Diego with 4:32 remaining. A trail by 11. Just 1 timeout left for the Chargers. Rivers steps, throws, deep ball. Floyd by himself. Touchdown, Chargers. A rainbow delivery by Rivers. And a 40-yard hookup. San Diego isn't done yet.
Now that's one for Malcolm Floyd. Played defense on the last play on Kirkpatrick. This time he gives a little inside move and then just blows by Kirkpatrick. It's almost as if Kirkpatrick was expecting deep help there. Chargers going for 2 because of the deficit.
And this is not something that San Diego has been accustomed to. Mike McCoy and going for 2 are not synonymous. The first 2-point conversion attempt since the 2011 season for the Chargers. Timeout called by Cincinnati. .420 mark of the fourth.
You know, just as Cincinnati has a lot of weapons to work with in this situation, so does Rivers and the Chargers. I mean, Ladarius Green is a mismatch at 6'6", but with Melvin Gordon in the game, it wouldn't surprise me. San Diego loves to run draw plays because the way that Rivers operates, so many pass plays, he's so effective that a good cross-up is the draw.
Trying to make this a 3-point game. San Diego had 3 penalties on that drive and still found a way to get the touchdown. Rivers dealing with the jungle. Two-point try for the Chargers. Fake it, throw it underneath, and Keenan Allen is engulfed. Snuffed out at the 4. 5-point disparity and a huge defensive play on the 2-point conversion try by San Diego. Josh Lambo will kick it off. The deep man is Brandon Tate, so it's Tate, not Jones, for Cincinnati. Bengals lead at 24-19. Lambo leans into it. Tate's taking it out. 15-20. Stutter step. And he's driven backwards as he hit the 25-yard line. Take us back to the two-point try.
Well, a couple of veteran defensive backs here. Stevie Johnson is going to go out and block on Adam Jones, but look at the eyes here of Leon Hall. A couple of 9-year veterans here. Hall immediately recognizes the play, and he's there just as Allen catches the ball. No substitute for experience.
And everybody from the Bengals raves about Leon Hall and his film study and his preparation and his professionalism. And it paid off on that play that could turn the whole game. But Cincinnati still has some work to do here. San Diego only has one timeout left. Giovanni Bernard tried to cut it. 4.5-yard gain. With the one timeout and the 2-minute warning, if Cincinnati got 2 first downs, that would basically do it. We're down to 3:52 remaining.
Yeah, it's a solid start on first down to pick up about 4.
Giovanni Bernard, 16 carries, 111 yards.
And Dalton broke the huddle too soon. Now he's going to be at the line of scrimmage for a long time as the play clock runs down.
Down to 4. On the ground again, Bernard. Cutting to the outside, he's got a first down. Slides down. Giovanni Bernard. Very smart. You avoid getting hit along the sideline. And Bernard keeps the clock rolling.
Well, we've seen this so much today from both Bernard and Hill and Gordon of the Chargers. The misdirection run and then the smart play at the end, as you said, Ian. Sliding safely inbounds, keeping the clock rolling.
It's been all Bernard here for Cincinnati. Under 3 minutes to play now. Bernard remains in there. Jones the motion man for the Bengals.
Playboy.
Bernard thrown backwards. Corey Legit read it perfectly. -5 on the play. Coming up, Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cower, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. San Diego has used its timeout. So now all they've got is the 2-minute warning to stop the clock.
And 12 seconds ran off the clock, so they're going to reset it, put it at 2:32. Good play by Corey Legit there to stop Bernard. Bernard's had a heck of a day, 18 carries, 120, and that big run there 2 plays ago.
Total yards, 388 for Cincinnati. Last week they had 5 plays of 24 or more yards in Oakland. You haven't had the big explosion plays necessarily this week, but the steadying influence of Bernard in the run game has changed their tact. 2 running plays and a stop by San Diego. Looking at the clock, the best the Chargers can get the ball back is with about 1:10 left. If they stop Bernard, they do here. So the first part of that equation is covered. And that's going to take us down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 3rd and long for Cincinnati. San Diego out of timeouts.
Now, San Diego's inability to sack Andy Dalton may come into the thinking of offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson here on a 3rd down and about 13 when we come back.
Cincinnati looking to hold on at home against the Chargers. Well, Dan, clock management has been a rather topical talking point in the NFL early on. What's your thought process here with Cincinnati?
Well, the clock is more important right now than picking up a first down. Run it all the way down after this play, then bring out Huber, who's averaging 51 yards on his 2 punts. And the Chargers offensively have not done very well when they've been backed up in this 4th quarter.
3rd and 13. Bernard stopped after a gain of 1, and here's where the clock plays in. They'll roll it as far down as they can. San Diego has no timeouts remaining, but they are going to get the football back with Phillip Rivers leading this Chargers offense.
And Keenan Allen deep for San Diego, just 2 receptions on the day. You know he'd like to atone for that early muff that resulted in a Bengal touchdown. First punt of the game.
Kevin Huber, excellent directional punter. Pro Bowl last season for the Bengals. Not much of a rush. Huber uncorks it. Allen lets it bounce into the end zone. Out to the 20 for San Diego. 58-yard punt, but a net of 38. The Cincinnati Bengals and the San Diego Chargers. Dalton, good start, a couple of touchdowns early. And then the Chargers got their footing, a record for Phillip Rivers, all-time leader in touchdown passes in San Diego history. Eifert in the end zone once again. He had a pair of them last week. And now it comes down to Phillip Rivers and the Chargers offense with 1:09 left. 24 career game-winning drives in the fourth quarter and overtime. 2 have come against the Bengals.
We'll see how conservative the Bengals played on defense. Kirkpatrick was just embarrassed the last time the Chargers had the ball by Malcolm Floyd, that long touchdown catch.
Shotgun for Rivers. His team is down by 5. A flip. Woodhead. Danny Woodhead making it happen, not only getting the extra yards, but getting out of bounds as well. 11-yard catch and run.
There's some question as to whether the play clock could run all the way down to 0, but what an effort by Woodhead, picking his way behind his blockers, knowing he's got to get out of bounds. And he does. Makes Jones miss, makes Nelson miss, and stops the clock.
Line of scrimmage is the 31. Just over a minute left. Rivers rifles. Intercepted. Cincinnati is going to win it. It's Vincent Ray. Rivers the turnover. Injured on the play.
Watch Vincent Ray, number 57, pick up his 3rd career interception, just dropping back, looking at where Rivers is checking out on the field. Rivers trying to get it to Floyd over the middle. This is an outstanding recognition by a very smart player in Vinny Ray, watching Rivers' eyes, breaking on the ball, and then high-pointing it and taking it to the ground and giving the Bengals this win.
Ray slammed down at the end of the play as Floyd was trying to make a play on the ball. How did he hold on? Vincent Ray, former practice squad member, with Vontaze Burfict on the pup list. It's Ray, the late game hero.
Yeah, here he gets his head on the ground. He gets up off the ground, and 4 teammates slap him on top of the helmet.
And he's not giving up that football.
No, he shouldn't. That is a spectacular interception. Lands on the back of his shoulders and head. And Rivers is denied.
3 turnovers for San Diego. For those of you who are watching Cleveland and Tennessee, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to take their home opener against the San Diego Chargers. 2 seasons ago, San Diego came into Cincinnati and won a wild card game. It was a nightmare of a day for Andy Dalton. Not the case today. Dalton tosses 3 touchdowns, 214 yards. It's Rivers who could not lead his team down the field down the stretch. And the Cincinnati Bengals improve to 2-0 as they knock off the Chargers 24-19. Subway postgame show is coming up. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, the NFL scores and highlights. In week 2, it's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Vincent Ray seals it with a late game pick. And Cincinnati holds on at home against San Diego. Final score, the Bengals 24, the Chargers 19. With Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn, I'm Ian Eagle saying so long from Cincinnati. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Subway postgame show is coming up. We'll send you to JB in New York right after this.